Majority of the men that start talking about gold digging don't have any
Have
gold
there's nothing
for
there.
us to dig from. Let's first unpack from there.
Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Combre and I'm so excited to have you guys tune in today. For those who have liked, shared, subscribed and left a comment, I am so grateful and God bless you. For those who are here for the very first time, you are welcome. And we are going to be discussing a very interesting topic today. We are talking about the soft life and everything to do with it. I am so privileged and honored to be hosting an incredible lady. She is a personal friend, she is a sister. I love the way she carries herself. She has embarked on this self love and soft life journey, and I've seen her over the years blossom into an amazing human being. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please welcome Michaela Gibby.
Hey, girl.
Thank you for joining me on this episode. And let's just dive right into it. When somebody says soft life, or when you hear the term soft life, what does that mean for you?
So for me, soft life is it's literally in the terms of life. It's just softness of life.
Yeah.
We are talking about the ease in which you do pretty much everything. And don't get me wrong, sometimes the definition is misconstrued. So when people hear softness, they're probably thinking you're just lazy and
Yeah.
everything. But it's just choosing a life of grace and a life of softness. Yeah, that's pretty much my definition. I don't know about you.
That's really interesting because it doesn't really deviate from what she's saying. I personally believe also it's a lifestyle of comfort, relaxation. It's when you prioritize your well being and do things that cultivate an environment where you are at ease, where you are at peace. Yeah, that's basically what soft life is about. And she hinted on something interesting because people always think when we say soft life, we mean we are promoting laziness, right? So women are not supposed to work, they stay home, and the men do pretty much everything. But I just wanted to demystify that a bit.
All right, it's interesting that you say that because it's true. Most people think that it's just laziness, but to be honest, for you to reach a certain level or a certain point in your life where you can appreciate softness, it's
Yeah,
after sometimes it's after a hell of a hardship, you know what I mean?
that's true.
But of course, when it comes to soft life, again, like I said earlier, people might misconstrue it for something else.
Yeah,
But when you actually look at it, again, I understand that soft life, it depends on your social status, sometimes even the economical status of where you're at.
yeah,
And it doesn't necessarily have to be what social media tells you that it has to be.
yeah.
So, for example, flying first class, I mean, not everybody can afford a first class ticket.
That's true.
But depending on where you're at, this is something I learned from my mom. She always said, with what you have, always make the best out of it.
That's
So
good.
even if you can't really afford the social media kind of,
Yeah.
soft life sometimes is just coming home, opening a bottle of wine. If you can afford wine, just get grape juice or something, pour it into a glass,
Yeah.
listen to soothing, calm music, and like just sit down and like maybe write something, journal, whatever. It's not necessarily you have to be that girl. Like you can grow into it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, that's amazing. But I just wanted us to get into like your personal experience, some of the things that you're doing on a day to day to actually practice soft life.
Soft life. Um, soft life is an energy to me. Um, to be honest, I used to be a very hyper independent woman, and I know this about you as well. So,
Yeah, guys, we need a support group.
this could be a podcast of its own. As a very
Yeah,
hyper independent woman, go get your bag, go do that. And I'm still about that life. I believe that women, especially, in this society as well,
yeah,
need something of their own. And it's beautiful that nowadays, you're able to do
yeah,
so. Like there's so
that's
many
true.
systems that allow you to.
Mm.
But it reached a point whereby I had friends who were already in their soft life era at the time, and they were
Yeah.
quite older than me, and they kept telling me, you know, things just don't have to be that hard,
Yeah.
right? But I realized that it took a lot. It also needed me to take a lot of looking in and a lot of self work to actually reach that point whereby I find ease in ease, and I also find ease in receiving. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes when you feel like you've not really like worked for it, yeah, you're like, yeah, it's not worth it. No, I shouldn't be getting this. Like reaching that point where you realize that you're actually worthy of all these things. So there's so
Absolutely.
many things that would play into it. Like I started practicing yoga. Yoga made me a lot calmer.
Wow.
Yoga made me a lot. It really opened my eyes into many things. Is of yes, the discipline of exercising, eating healthy. I'm very health conscious. Most people know that about me.
Yeah, that's true.
But it was one of those things of I sat down and I said, okay, I actually want to look after myself. And in doing so, I realized that I'm actually worthy of the simple, easy things in life. And I feel like it's really a lifestyle. It's not actually
Yeah,
a trend. For people who say it's a trend, it's really
that's
not a
so
trend.
true.
I think I can live an ease of life for a
Yeah,
very long time. Yeah.
yeah. Another thing I wanted us to talk about is how does soft life come into play when it comes to relationships, especially for the men. When you're in a first date and the lady says, I'm all about the soft life, I'm in my feminine, there is a way it rubs men a certain way. I want
Mm-hmm.
us to talk about that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Again, sometimes men look at it and it's misconstrued as well.
Yeah.
Immediately you say about the soft life, they're like, "Oh, you're a gold digger." And to be honest, majority of the men that start talking about gold digging don't have any
Have gold.
gold
There's nothing
for us
there.
to dig from. Let's first unpack from there.
Yeah.
But I feel like again, I'll always go back to what is your self worth and
Yeah.
what as an individual do you actually think you're worthy of? Because in all honesty, if I can't go on a first date, I have my expectations laid out. And by the time somebody is taking me out on a first date, I've probably already vetted them. So there's the settling and all those different things. And
Yeah.
I am against struggle love. You heard of struggle love?
Yeah.
I am
Sis.
against struggle love.
Been there, done that.
So you need to make sure as a woman you have your priorities in check.
Yeah.
You also need to find a partner that can be able to I guess, gel with your priorities as well. Because
Yeah.
again, people are different. There are some men who are about the soft life as well, and they just want to be, you know, soft life husbands, chilling at home and whatever. They're there, and there's that boss babe who's like, you know what, I don't want to handle the kids. I need a man to do that, and they will gel. There are those girls who are like, you know, 50-50, we go on a date, we split the bills 50-50,
Yeah.
whatever. And then there are those women who are like, listen, I don't pay nothing. It
A
is what it
hundred
is.
zero.
100-0, and the man is okay with that. So I
Yeah.
think number one, knowing exactly what you want and communicating that as well is important.
Yeah.
Also for the male species as well, it's good to be open at the first part. But if you're about the soft life, and soft life doesn't mean necessarily you want your bills paid 100%,
Yeah.
right? You could be a boss babe, you have your businesses running, and you can afford majority of things for yourself. But if you are looking for somebody to look after you and all that, you just have to communicate it, right? And yeah, so long as you're not doing struggle life, I don't think that you would you wouldn't be able to live your soft life in that, because again, soft life looks different for everybody.
Yeah.
Some people it's trips, some people it's just going on nature walks, some people it's exercising, some people it's just what makes your life easier. And the thing about healing is when you're healed, you also want to find somebody that has done the inner work in them as well, because we are not about fixing people. Like, I'm not a therapist, I'm not going to be a therapist, I'm not going to try and fix you as an individual,
Yeah.
right? So you need to have done the work because I have done the work,
Yeah.
and then we come together and we build something together. So for me, that would be my take in terms of relationships. Just be very clear on what your expectations are and meet people that are willing to do that. Otherwise, just stay single, man. It's not really not worth the pain.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing is communication.
Yeah,
It's so important to
communication.
communicate and then find someone with values that can gel into yours, that will be comfortable, you living that life and being in their life as well. And you're all, it's a win win for everyone. Yes.
Mm. And that's why I also said it's important for a woman to have their own. I'm very, very big on it because when you
Yeah.
have your own, then when somebody comes into your life, it's not to you've had that statement. He
You
completes
complete
me.
me.
Ned, I'm already complete. I am already complete. You are coming and you're bringing your
Complementing.
100%, and I'm bringing my 100%, and we are building something. And of course, Michelle Obama was like, seven, sometimes you're 20, he's
It's
80,
80.
whatever. And there's all
Yeah.
those dynamics in the relationship.
Yeah.
But in terms of, again, if you're a healed girl, you just don't want to go back into it and all that stuff. Yeah.
Maybe another thing that I wanted us to talk about is how do we incorporate being in your feminine. I know you've had a lot of that, being
Yeah.
in your feminine energy, how to be in your divine feminine. How do we incorporate that into soft life?
Into soft life. Well, I'll speak from my experience because there was a period of time, like I said, hyper independent. So I was very well so in my masculine.
Ah,
I think there's nothing wrong with having masculine energy as a woman, by the way.
yeah,
If that's for you, it is for you. And if you feel like you can actually move with it, that's fine. It's just that I reached a certain point where it just really wasn't working for me.
for you, yeah,
um it takes a lot of, personally for myself, my journey, it takes a lot of healing. You have to first go sit down, look at all the things that trigger you, and you
yeah,
realize why you are the way you are, why you really can't receive easily,
yeah,
why you feel the need to just be by yourself all the time.
yeah.
And it was harder for me because I moved to a whole new country. I was working there, I was living alone and all of that.
Yeah.
So being alone was also a whole other thing.
Can
But then
imagine.
I started to find comfort in being with myself. So I started taking myself out on dates. I started listening to podcasts that have like that would give me really really good context of what I'm going through and everything.
Yeah,
And it also came with a lot of self appreciation. I started to realize that, what, I've actually done well for myself and well for my age. I
yeah,
started to appreciate myself more. That's why I started doing nice things for myself. So again, taking myself out on dates, going for vacations, doing all these different things, it was more for me.
yeah,
I started saying, you know what, I actually do appreciate, like I actually do what's the word, I'm actually worthy of all
oh,
these different things I'm doing for myself.
yeah,
And then that's when I started to tap into my feminine. Like I just started allowing and got comfortable with receiving because I was giving myself the accolades as well. So
yeah,
when different people would come and say, oh, you lead with grace and all these different things, I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, it's just a state of mind, and just a state of being, really.
Mm.
And I think women, as women, we do need to tap into our feminine because there is power in our feminine,
Oh, yes.
even in terms of even work culture. And I don't want to get into that, but yeah, it's another podcast for a whole day. But even in terms of work culture, I feel like you don't necessarily have to be so masculine
Yeah.
as well. And yeah, I don't know about you. How's your journey entering your feminine energy been?
Um, awesome. I I feel like I've always had like a feminine touch to me. That's the truth.
That's actually true.
Yeah. And I'm extremely nurturing for those who know me. And that's actually something I want to talk about because women are just our nature is we are nurturing. And you find that you may find people taking advantage of that because we give, we want to pour out into people. But one thing that I've discovered is I've learned to create boundaries even when I'm doing that.
Confidence.
Saying no, no, guys, is a complete answer. You don't have to explain anything after that. If you feel like you can't do something or you can't, be up to a certain task, communicate. Yeah. Okay, so before we close, I just want to leave us with a quote, and it's on self love. And it says, self love is not something you acquire, it's always been there and it never left, waiting for you to shed the layers of identification with the thoughts of your mind and return back home. The greatest love story ever told. Yours. Thank you guys for joining us. Hope to see you on our next episode. If you like this particular episode, you can like, comment down below, or just tell us more about what you know about the soft life, what that means to you, and to all my soft life ambassadors. Hala.
We see
See you
you.
guys. Bye bye.
Bye.